There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Please be seated. The Secretary will read the order.
Debate on vote number 3, Cooperative Governance, including vote number 15, Traditional Affairs Appropriation Bill.
I now invite the Honourable the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs to start the debate. The Honourable Minister.
Honorable Chairperson, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, members of the Provincial Executive Committee, cabinet members and deputy ministers of COCTA, chairperson of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, the directors general of DCOC and DTA, chairpersons and presidents of state entities, CEOs of MISA, MDB, and SALCA, and honorable members. As I table budget vote 3 and 15 for Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, I must firstly thank the leadership from whom I have taken the reins, for it is on their achievements that we build. Together with the deputy ministers, Dr. Masemula and Prince Ban Sngamashe, we will fulfill the mandate of improving coordination across the 3 spheres of government to create a capable developmental state able to fulfill noble goals of the National Development Plan. Before I address this budget, let me convey our deepest condolences to the 14 people who perished as a result of the fire in KwaZulu-Natal over the past 3 days. Honorable members, the allocated budget for cooperative governance, vote 3 for the medium term, is 395.7 billion rands, with 95.9% designated for transfers to municipalities and affiliated entities, primarily for the local government equitable share, disaster relief grant, and the municipal infrastructure grant. For the traditional affairs, vote 15, the appropriated budget amounts to 187.3 million rand, a 5.8 million rand reduction from the previous year due to mandatory budget cuts implemented by National Treasury. Under the government of national unity, our mission is clear: to improve the basic service delivery, foster inclusive economic growth, urgently address poverty, and combat corruption. We intend to eradicate fragmentation in planning, budgeting, implementation, and monitoring of the government programs. Without question, our first task is to turn around the dysfunctional municipalities. Accordingly, this budget is delivered under the theme, open quote, every municipality must work, close quote. This is a clarion call to action to build a functioning, community-centered local government which is responsive to the needs and aspirations of our people. The State of the Local Government report highlights 66 municipalities that require urgent attention. We therefore must institutionalize the district development model to which end the IGR regulations were promulgated in May 2024. The approved DTM1 plans will now be implemented across 52 districts and metros. The Eastern Seaport Development is a DTM flagship project. It highlights our commitment to strategic growth supported by partnership with traditional leaders and the private sector geared towards infrastructural investment totaling to 58.9 billion rand over the next MTSF. It proves what can be done. Right now, there are more than 30 Section 139 interventions in municipalities across 8 provinces. Some of these interventions have lasted the full term of the municipal council. Going forward, therefore, the department will implement and enforce compliance with municipal support and intervention plans and financial recovery plans in distressed municipalities. This will be done in collaboration with the National Treasury, supported by the provincial COCTAs and treasuries, as well as sector departments and SALCA. The dire challenges faced by the eThekwini Metro, which is grappling with governance, institutional and service delivery issues, must be resolved. This metro is receiving concurrent support from the national government led by the presidency and from the province led by the KZN COCTA. It is unacceptable that despite support, several municipalities have neglected repairs and maintenance, resulting in directives for non-compliance being issued by the Department of Water and Sanitation. In some cases, these are ignored, leading to criminal charges against water services authorities. Consequently, we will convert funds from the Municipal Infrastructure Grants Schedule 5B to Schedule 6B grants. The Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent, MISA, will be implementing agent for the MIG 6B conversion program. As an example, the National Treasurer has approved the implementation of 2 water and sanitation projects with a combined value of 90 million rand on behalf of Uthukela District Municipality and Mfuleni Local Municipality through the MISA arrangement. We are engaging municipalities and National Treasury for an extension of these services to other struggling municipalities so that the money for MIG can be better utilized. Our intensive monitoring program, implemented together with provinces, has secured a massive decline in the number of MIG allocations stopped and reallocated by National Treasury. We will now intensify this support until all municipalities spend their allocations effectively. Through MISA, the department supports municipalities across South Africa, enhancing service delivery and fostering the economic growth. To improve the municipal service delivery, we have embraced the results-based planning. This approach, spearheaded by the Result-Based Management Office, leverages skilled local government experts to collaborate with municipalities, provincial governments, institutions of traditional leadership, and stakeholders across the 9 provinces. I'm proud, Honorable Chair, to report that the Municipal Demarcation Board achieved 100% of its performance targets for the period ending 31 March, thanks to the foundation laid by the previous board. This performance is remarkable, with the MDB having finalized municipal boundary redetermination proposal, handling an unprecedented number of submissions. Honorable colleagues, the the MDP has issued a circular notifying the public about the ward delimitation process. The legislated engagement process must be finalized before 31 October 2025. We ask this House to assist communities to participate effectively to ensure the successes of the 2026 local government election. Let me now address our key legislative initiatives. A comprehensive review of legislation to consolidate good practices and address challenges holistically had led to the development of the Local Government General Laws Amendment Bill, the Independent Municipal Demarcation Authority Bill, the Local Government Municipal Structures Amendment Bill 2024, and the Intergovernmental Monitoring Support and Interventions Bill. We have also initiated a review of the 1998 White Paper on Local Government, which is a landmark document guiding democratic local government processes since 2000. With regard to the Traditional and Cohesion Leadership Act, a new bill has been drafted and all the administrative processes have been finalized. It will now be tabled in Cabinet for approval before it is submitted to Parliament. The Traditional Courts Bill, enacted as Act Number 9 of 2022, marks a significant step in formalizing traditional justice systems. In collaboration with the Department of Justice, we are now finalizing draft regulations. These include assessing existing traditional courts, training traditional leaders, and ensuring adequate resources for effective operation. These legislative initiatives are critical to enhance our local government framework. We are committed to support Parliament in processing this legislation, knowing the positive impact it will have on communities and our government system. Honorable Chair, disasters like drought, floods, fire, and severe weather are increasing in number, magnitude, severity, and impact. Occurring simultaneously or in rapid succession, these disasters are straining our resources and system. Our challenge in disaster management is primarily due to deficiencies in regulatory legislation, which is not designed to adapt to the ever-changing risk environment. The systematic and structural design of our disaster management delivery, as guided by current laws, result in issues with timing and bureaucracy. We are therefore proposing a new system for disaster management and fire services, reorganizing administrative structures and financing models to better respond to growing disaster risk. We are emphasizing risk reduction, integrating disaster management into all levels of government planning, ensuring adequate funding, and focus on resilience. Cognizant to the magnitude and impact of the bold changes proposed, the National Disaster Management Center undertook extensive consultation through disaster management structures and across the three spheres of government. Inputs were used to refine the proposed model. With our constitutional democracy, within our constitutional democracy, the institution of traditional leadership plays an integral part. We will work tirelessly to address issues raised by traditional leaders through the interministerial task team led by the Deputy President, supporting the Office of the Deputy President in convening ministries within the task team to ensure continuous attention to the concerns raised by traditional and cohesion leaders. These concerns include, among others, tools of trade, training, and capacity building. My first priority, however, is the safety of the traditional leaders. Together with the councillors, our traditional leaders have long been targets for assassination. This must be stopped. Their lives must be protected. The Department of Traditional Affairs itself has taken critical steps towards saving lives in our initiation schools. Tragically, we are still experiencing loss of life in initiation schools. We commend provinces like Limpopo and Mpumalanga for exemplary initiation practices and encourage others to learn from their successes. Through collaborative efforts, we aim to enforce compliance and accountability, ensuring the sanctity of the cultural practice and save lives. In conclusion, Honorable Chair, I extend heartfelt appreciation to all contributors to the department's effort. Our shared goals of enhancing service delivery, empowering local governance, and nurturing community well-being requires unified action across all sectors. Accordingly, my administration will intensify stakeholder engagement, for they are our strategic partners in delivering good governance. Let me remind this august House that the 2026 local government elections are around the corner. We owe it to our communities to better their lives through effective and impactful service delivery. The time for lamenting is over. The 7th administration has opened a new chapter, which must be a turning point for the COPTAM sector post 30 years of freedom and democracy. This budget proposal represents not just financial planning, but our commitment to building a stronger South Africa. I therefore humbly submit these budget votes for your approval. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The next speaker is the Honourable Dr. Mkhize.
Honorable House Chair, Honorable Minister, Deputy Ministers, and honorable members of the House. I'm honored to participate in this debate in support of this budget for vote 3 and 15 on behalf of the African National Congress. As we begin this 7th administration, in the first meeting of this portfolio committee with the Minister and Department last week, we indicated that we shall express our support through our commitment to hold the executive accountable to the electorate, to ensure the efficient use of allocated resources, to deliver the quality services and the improvement of the lives of our people who elected us. This Parliament represents the voice of the people of our country that this executive is appointed to serve. Our role as public representative in this 7th Parliament, as represented by this COCTA Portfolio Committee, is to ensure that local government, as a key catalyst for social and economic development, remains the primary point of contact for citizens to receive services as the main interface between the government and the public. The ANC envisions a developmental local government system that promotes the planned reconstruction and development of our nation, and as such, COCTA as the department has the responsibility to ensure sound intergovernmental relations and cooperative governance across all 3 spheres of government, at the heart of which is the need for citizens to engage directly and meaningfully with the state institutions. The advent of the district development model was meant to improve in the alignment and coordination and to improve cooperation and create an ethical and developmental state with higher performance and accountability. This would then create an impact in joint planning, joint budgeting, and joint implementation. The committee has expressed the need for Cooperative Department to demonstrate more success in the implementation of the DDM beyond pilot sites, and we welcome the statement of the Minister to this effect. Recent studies have shown that the success of Operation Sukumasake, on which the DDM was developed, was based on the simultaneous implementation of 5 convergent principles, namely cooperative governance, intergovernmental relations, integration of services, good governance, and democratic participation by communities in matters that affect their lives. These principles help to resolve the challenges of multi-level governance in a governance model such as ours in South Africa, and this is according to the theory of governance. As the ANC, we envisage that strengthening developmental local government will enable social and economic transformation to eliminate the legacies of apartheid by eradicating poverty, inequality, unemployment, through ensuring local economic development and improved municipal service delivery, which are crucial for South Africa to expand economic participation, reduce crime, and counteract unemployment trends in line with the National Development Plan. Local government must develop adequate capacity to respond to various disasters, whether natural or man-made, as recently seen in the severe floods in eThekwini and Cape Town as a result of environmental and climatic changes, and also the fires, the Minister has referred to this, that raged in parts of KwaZulu-Natal, and this is a problem also here in the Western Cape that happens quite frequently, destroying human lives, dwellings, infrastructure, and property. Service delivery to communities has been negatively affected by challenges of dysfunctional municipalities, caused amongst other factors such as inadequate resources, lack of appropriate skills, maladministration and corruption, as well as the political interference in administrative matters. From the report from 2021 to 22, of the 257 municipalities, the of distressed municipalities increased from 64 to 66, and those under administration increased from 23 to 33. But it is heartening to get the report that there is improvement in the number of stable municipalities from 16 to 30. And the committee welcomes this development, and the department is encouraged to continue this positive trajectory. The 2024 budget allocation sees a baseline reduction of 1.3 billion rand. This budget reduction in this vote raises serious concerns, since the responsibility of strengthening and supporting municipal capacity in terms of Section 154 of the Constitution will be compromised. The reduction affects Program 2, which is intergovernmental support, particularly the management side, which is this intergovernmental support sub-program, where 80% of reduction is noted. Then there is also a slight reduction in the administration, which we think is deemed to be sufficiently funded to operate as expected. Further departmental attention needs to address the instability that has been occasioned by multi-parties in the coalition government, such as we have seen in Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, and Johannesburg. Also, water sanitation challenges require focused attention to address community concerns and avoid the recurrence of waterborne diseases such as cholera, as happened in Tshwane, and the environmental contamination that happened in Mfuleni. The municipal infrastructure grant is pivotal in improving infrastructure and basic services across South Africa. And therefore, it's important also to note that the MTF was reported last year to be having 17.6 billion rand over the MTF for 217 municipalities. Equally, there was also a note of 116 municipalities that spent more than 90% of their cumulative location, and this must be commended. Further to this, a special attention needs to be placed on accelerating spatial integration, bringing mostly the black communities to the center of town in high-rise residential settlements to reverse the apartheid spatial planning and peri-urban sprawl. And this is important because there is a use of this grant that is associated with integrated urban development. Expanding on the importance of the allocation of 4.2 billion vote under Vote 3 Community Works Program is also very crucial, because this program plays an important role in social and economic development by providing employment opportunities and fostering community empowerment in areas with high unemployment rate and poverty. In this case, the budget reduction will impact negatively on the community worker program, resulting in the reduction of a target of 255,000 to 200,000, which the bulk of which goes to stipends. This is another matter of concern. The ANC is deeply committed to strengthening and supporting institutional of traditional leaders, addressing the matters of the Khoisan communities. We welcome the Minister's commitment on engaging on this particular matter. The traditional structures need to be empowered to play a role in community development, enhancement of service delivery, and promotion of rural development in cooperation with these three spheres of government. Parliament, therefore, will continue to monitor the management in addressing the various issues raised by traditional leaders, including those of the Khoisan communities. These include land dispossession, use of agricultural land and mining rights, as well as consistency in the tools of trade, as well as the issues of disputes on kingships, queenships, amakhosis, induna, and also we've got a serious concern about the safety of traditional leaders, where over 40 have been assassinated in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Also other concerns, including the prevention of the deaths during the male customary initiation. Those for us are issues that are very important for the department to look at. And again, we welcome the Minister's commitment and we look forward to the report. The National House of Traditional Leaders and Khoisan Leaders has developed an Invest Rural Master Plan aimed at attracting investment into the areas under the traditional leadership. We believe that this is a very, very important development to integrate the rural areas in the economy of our country. We also look forward to engaging with the framework of traditional leadership and Khoisan Bill and other legislation when the department presents to the tables and to Parliament. The ANC acknowledges that despite fiscal constraints, the budget addresses critical issues impacting on cooperative governance, particularly focusing on functional local government and traditional leadership. The ANC supports this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Van Syn.
Thank you, House Chair. Minister, Deputy Ministers, members. Today, as we gather to address the budget vote for the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs for the 2024-2025 financial year, it is imperative that we first highlight the current state of South Africa's local government sector. Section 152 of the Constitution provides that the local government sector should ensure the provision of services to communities and the promotion of social and economical development. The drafters of the Constitution understood that local government sphere is where the government is closest to the people and shapes their daily lives. Local government impacts every resident in our communities, from the roads we drive on to get goods to the market, travel to school or work, to the basic services we receive, such as electricity and clean potable water, essential for daily survival. However, the lived experiences of most South Africans on the state of local government is grim. On a regular basis, residents from the deep rural villages, such as Jogabi and Alfred Nzo district municipalities, struggle to cook, wash, or even drink water, as piped water remains a distant dream, always in the pipeline. Their daily reality involves fetching water from rivers and streams that they share with animals. This sad state of affairs is not confined to rural areas. In metros, such as eThekwini and Johannesburg, aging infrastructure has led to massive water losses, resulting in dry taps for days or even weeks. The primary contributing factor to this poor service delivery outcome is repeated failure to allocate sufficient funds to provide communities with pipe water or upgrade the crumbling and aging infrastructure in municipalities. Cognizant of the rapid decline in the quality of municipal services, communities have risen up to demand accountability and transparency from failing municipal administrations. They understand that it is only active citizen participation that they can bring fundamental change in local government. While change is needed to improve the state of local government sector in South Africa, the district development model is not the answer. Adopted by Cabinet in 21 August 2019, the DDM is supposedly aimed at coordinating and implementing an integrated service delivery approach at district and metro levels. Despite these lofty goals, its implementation across the 3 pilot sites, namely the OR Tambo District Municipality in the Eastern Cape, the Waterberg District Municipality in Limpopo, and the eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality in KZN, has not achieved the tangible change except an accelerated deterioration in service delivery. According to a parliamentary reply by the previous Minister of COCTA, 103 million rand was spent on these 3 DDM pilot sites for DDM institutionalization and implementation programs, which really is just a very vague way to describe spending 100 million rand to do nothing. The DDM regulations, by attempting to centralize governance and reduce municipalities' autonomy, may be in violation of Section 151, subsection 4 of the Constitution, which promotes and protects the municipalities' rights to exercise their powers and perform their functions. The Democratic Alliance firmly reject the DDM's philosophy and implementation, as it distances governance and decision-making from the people. The dismal state of local government is further evidenced by poor municipal outcomes, audit outcomes reflecting catastrophic governance failures. These failures stem from issues such as the amalgamation of financially unviable municipalities, questionable constitutional interventions under the implementation of Section 139, poor consequence management on outcomes of municipal public accounts committees, and political infighting. Despite this, DA-governed municipalities stand out as models of good governance. According to Ratings Africa, the 5 best-performing municipalities, which are Midvaal, Mossel Bay, Saldanha Bay, Swellendam, and Swartland, are all DA-run. The city of Cape Town, under the DA governance, is the best-performing metro in the country, with a score nearly double the metro average. In the Western Cape, DA governance has yielded tangible economic benefits. Between the 4th quarter of 2019 and the 4th quarter of 2023, this province created 239,000 net jobs, accounting for 4 out of every 5 new jobs in South Africa. The DA-run city of Tshwane has also been recognized for improved financial management, winning awards for efficient use of municipal grants, good service delivery, and reducing wasteful expenditure. In stark contrast, ANC-run municipalities have regressed despite spending a combined 1.6 billion rand on consultants. The Auditor General flagged 70 of these municipalities as facing significant financial risks. Honourable members, the pressing issue of Eskom debt compounds the challenges in local government. The municipal Eskom debt relief plan, intended to alleviate this burden, is yet to make an impact in reducing municipal debt to Eskom. With municipal debt projected to hit 3.1 trillion rand by 2050, the sustainability of Eskom and municipalities is in jeopardy. Addressing this debt crisis is crucial for sustainable development, as the escalating debt not only threatens financial stability, but also jeopardizes the provision of essential services. The baseline cut of 1.3 billion rand to COCTA's budget will further limit the department's ability to strengthen the institutional capacity of municipalities to deliver better services to their communities. It is a failure of government to get the basics right, leaving residents to bear the cost. Minister, while fully understanding that this is an inherited budget, I do hope by pointing out the failures this afternoon that you will be better placed to create a budget that works for local government and the residents of South Africa. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is from the MK Party. Honourable Chief Taibo.
Okay, next. Okay. Good evening, Chairman, honorable members, Minister, Deputy Ministers, DDG,
Deputy DDGs, welcome to this budget vote for COCTA. Today, as was the other day, marks a very historical moment in the history of our country. It's only the second time that a Khoi and San person gets to address this portfolio committee. For this, I need to thank some people. Thank you. I need to thank my Heavenly Father first. He's not a people, but I need to thank my Heavenly Father, and then I have to thank a very good and humble man, Ubaba Msholozi, of the Ngamalala clan, none other than Jacob Gedleyeki Zuma, the true president of this country, I might add. When Jacob Zuma was president, many of the issues I'm about to address here today would have been decisively dealt with. Unfortunately, he only had 9 years and he couldn't finish the job. To start with, under Program 2, on the documentation received by COCTA, an amount of 53 million was budgeted for. It was classified payments for capital assets. This money was not spent. When the question was asked in the meeting, there was no explanation. The previous year, there was no such an allocation, and nothing like that was budgeted for. Now, we just wonder, how did we approve 53 million rand in our budget without any explanation? Can the minister look into that, please? We want to recap the implementation of the CWP. The APP proposed to appoint implementation agents for 6 months only. But somewhere in the APP, it also states that it's 36 months. Now, if we look at the cost for 6 months and what it was, and if we look at the cost for 36 months, okay, has a major impact on the budget due to the costs involved. Can we please investigate that, Minister? Furthermore, the budget for compensation for MISA, by the looks of it, far exceeds the goods and services that MISA has to deliver. So my question is the appointment really worth it? It does not make sense to me to bring in specialists which are costing more than the problem which they are supposed to fix. What are we doing? Are we creating jobs for cadres again? This could have major implications on the realization of the organization's policy priorities as well as our performance targets. It was also reported in the Minister's Forward that a combined total of 5.3 million was given to the Amampondo Mis, the Amaharabe, and the Amatkosa kingships. Firstly, we'd like to know if there was any mechanisms in place to account for the spend of these public funds. And then secondly, according to my knowledge, there's only one recognized kingship in the Eastern Cape, and that is the Amampondo Misa. So I don't know where the other kingdoms, whether they're recognized or not according to my knowledge, but certainly by COCTA. What I'm trying to bring across here is that when Khoi and San kingdoms go and ask for funding from COCTA, they are told that they are not recognized and they're not entertained. So where's the equality, people? More than 30 years, the Khoi and San people have been oppressed, have been neglected, have been ignored, have been excluded. Can we get some form of equality, please, Mr. Minister? I'm happy to hear that there is a new bill written, Mr. Minister, in terms of the TKLA Act. It would be nice to have sight of this bill, and I hope it's going to address a lot of problems, because according to me, that new bill should be put on hold until the Khoi and San people are recognized in the Constitution as the first indigenous nation, and only then, but only then can we address recognition via the United Nations Declaration on Indigenous Peoples. Then we can do a proper job. It is no surprise that the provincial houses of the National House of Traditional Khoi San leaders are dysfunctional, because first and foremost, those provincial houses have got no real structure. There is no Khoi and San leaders involved there. Those structures currently just served, as far as we're concerned, to assist the ANC with positions and jobs for cadre deployment. The exclusion of the Khoi and San by COCTA is evident when examining the budget and the program for traditional leaders. Just to let you know, when the President opened the National House of Traditional Leaders, Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, he mentioned the establishment of a Kings and Queens Forum. Currently, there are no kings and queens recognized within the Khoi and the San movement. Then we talk about the social labor plans for socio-economic development. There's some projects that have been implemented in 10 communities. May I add again, not one of those communities include a Khoi and San community. There are communities impacted by these mining activities, and these communities benefit from employment, bursaries, learnerships, and business opportunities, which the Khoi and the San would also like to enjoy. Then another exclusion, the Invest Rural Master Plan, also excludes the Khoisan communities, because the Khoisan communities do not have land. We do not have 20,000 hectares to contribute to this. Our land was stolen and robbed by the colonizers who now rule the country with the ANC. However, this will change because we're going to reclaim our land. We are going to reclaim our land. Then we want to talk about our indigenous knowledge systems, such as the rooibos, Hudia, Elo, and Buchu. These products bring in significant revenue annually, yet your budget does not reflect the income generated from this anywhere. Where is all that money going, Minister? We want to see an income and expenditure statement since inception. There are people receiving these monies and no proper account has ever been given. Who is being held accountable for these monies? This must be reported to the NPA immediately. We're talking about hundreds of millions of rand. The Khoi and the San people of this land deserve to have their dignity restored, including the restoration and preservation of our land and language. I stand against the exclusion of any traditional group, in particular the Khoi and San nations, who have been far too long overlooked and blue-ticked by our so-called Khoi leaders. The Khoi and San nations salute Ubaba Msholozi for embracing and highlighting the plight of our nation, who has far too long suffered. In conclusion, the Khoi and San are here now, people, and we take hands with all traditional leaders, and we say no to being oppressed under the archaic leadership system and the divide and rule. We are stronger together, we believe. Amase.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Makalipi.
Thank you very much, House Chair. Greetings to the Minister. Oh, he's walking out. Let me withdraw my greetings. And Deputy Ministers. Thanks very much, House Chair. Chairperson, the Economic Freedom Fighters reject the proposed budget for the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. We reject Budget Vote 3 and 15 as the Department of Cooperative Governance has over the years failed to perform its oversight role on the functionality and good governance that is expected from all spheres of government. We also reject the budget of a department that has no monitoring tools in place for local municipalities. Local government continues to be characterized by dysfunctionality, financial mismanagement, council and administrator instability, and crumbling municipal infrastructure. And accordingly to this department, on admission, in its State of Local Government report, only 11.67% of the country's municipalities are stable. Only 11%. And only 38 out of 257 municipalities received clean audit last year. Over 133 municipalities across the country are in a financial crisis. Despite local government being at the coalface of service delivery, we have consistently warned that COGTA is failing to support municipalities despite having a dedicated program that is meant to support municipalities to assist household. Chairperson, this department also fails at coordinating a coordinated disaster management system in the country. This is a case in point as why here, Chairperson. Pila Sande, Amanda, Xolile Nkaweni, Aonke Zibi from Ward 6 Mhlasin under eThekwini municipalities, whose houses were burnt last week, have not received any form of assistance from the Disaster Management Center so far. This disaster management center must share their clear and decisive intervention strategy with the latest fatalities of 7 people who perished KwaZulu-Natal fire over 100 homes, accompanied by abnormal weather which has affected both formal and informal settlements. I'm just making example with this incident. A minister or deputy ministers, because he is not here. What happens to the floods money that was allocated at eThekwini? Can you just tell us? There is no account for the 4 billion that was allocated for a eThekwini flood disaster. No explanation is provided, no one is held accountable, and we don't know what happened to that money. Can we also be answered today? Because people of KZN and eThekwini wants to know what happened to that money that was allocated. Unfortunately, he's not here, but I'm going to speak. We hope that one of the files on top of your desk, Minister, is a dossier of corruption charges against the people who steal the floods disaster money and community work program money, which you can't account for it, which is 4 billion of rands. Minister, be honest on the district development model. It was a misguided, it did not have a scientific basis, and was never going to address challenges of service delivery in local government anyway. This model was announced in 2019. 5 years later, there is no DDM. Please explain to us and to the country as well. Municipalities remain dysfunctional due to poor oversight mechanisms, weak administration, lack of repairs and maintenance of infrastructure, inability to perform on conditional grants, and poor collection and management of revenue. And to date, there has been no priority given to the causes of this dysfunctionality, as municipalities remain deeply engulfed in corruption practices. As a result, are no longer financially viable. Every year, the Auditor General paints a bleak picture about the future of these basket case municipalities. And every year, the narrative remains the same, as large numbers of local municipalities are given less than desirable outcomes. A case in point is the worsening situation at Mahlosana local municipality, where municipality service delivery problems stem from a dysfunctional fleet where 262 vehicles of 54 are out of service due to general mismanagement and poor maintenance system. Is the same thing that is happening in Durban with the Durban solid waste. There's also no hope that sewer spillages, potholes, and aging infrastructure in Tesobotla local municipality will ever be repaired. There have been no believable plans put in place to improve the administrations of municipalities, and there has been no zooming into challenges faced in local municipalities, especially those which has not been able to raise money on their own. The main source of revenue for most municipalities remains rates and taxes paid by property owners and consumers of municipal services. These include government institutions that are not up to date with payments. However, this method is out of touch with what is happening in South Africa in terms of unemployment, poverty, inequality that limits meaningful economic participation. The collapse of municipalities signifies the collapse of service delivery, water infrastructure, roads, and sanitation. Chairperson, this department needs to be decisive on consequence management and play a proactive role to the state of governance. We will not approve a budget that makes no commitments to build the capability of the state to deliver services to the people. A budget that is rubber stamping the dependence of all spheres of government on private companies. Not, you must not involve us as EFF.
Remember, your time is now expired.
So we are not going to support this budget. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you. Over time. The next speaker is the Honorable Prince Buthelezi.
Thank you, Chairperson, Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister, esteemed members present here. Honorable Chairperson, on behalf of the IFP, I would like to state how honored we are as a party to have one of our own represent us to head this department. We all know the Honorable Minister Velenkosini Shabisa as someone with strong principles and a deep respect for our constitutional democracy. Maybe, Chairperson, you didn't remind me that this is my maiden speech.
Honorable members, I've been informed that this is the member's maiden speech. So let's observe the practice and protocols.
No,
Thank you.
I'm fine, Chairman, I'm fine. Therefore, we believe without a shadow of a doubt that he will place the Department of Corporate Governance and Traditional Affairs on an upward trajectory where accountability and transparency are at the forefront of the decision making. The IFP, along with the rest of our country, wish you and your administration well, Minister Shabisa. Honorable Chairperson, Section 154 of the Constitution mandates that the department support and strengthen municipal capacity to manage their own affairs, exercise their own powers, and perform their allocated functions. It is no secret that under the previous administration, the Department for Corporate Governance has been severely struggling to ensure the fulfillment of its mandate to the people of South Africa. We have seen the reports of the 32 municipalities across the country that are under administration, with 66 out of 257 also being dysfunctional. And we realize that in the end, this only means one thing. The communities surrounding these municipalities will bear the brunt of the management and corruption of municipal officials. We are also not oblivious to the fact that under the previous administration, local governments receive less than 10% of the percentage share allocation from the national fiscus, which has proven to be utterly insufficient for municipalities to deliver services. Oftentimes, this has also been a clear indication of the lack of understanding the previous government had for the circumstances in municipalities with high numbers of indigent households. However, we have the utmost confidence that Minister Shabisa and the new administration will be able to implement the appropriate turnaround strategies and rescue plans that will serve both municipalities and the surrounding local communities. It is with this in mind that we welcome Minister Shabisa's statement that was made over the weekend when he shared that in the instance where a municipality is a water authority and fails to deliver this service, this authority will be taken from them and given to another that is more capable. This speaks volumes to the type of change the IFA has always called for, which is practically implementable solutions instead of abstract, theorized problem-solving techniques. We also call on this new administration to be more proactive in the protection of our traditional leaders than their predecessors, as there seemed to be a blatant lack of support and protection provided for them. As a party, we shall continue to fight for the rights and the institution of Amakosi, as we recognize their role and importance in securing a good governance. With these words, Chairperson, the IFP supports the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Is there a speaker from the Patriotic Alliance? The Honourable Wessels.
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. House Chair, the South African government and the South African Constitution, rather, prescribes cooperative governance. But we must be honest that currently there is a complete lack of cooperation between the different spheres of government. One example is government spheres owing each other money. If we go and look at national departments, It owes municipalities currently a staggering 8 billion rand. Provincial departments owe municipalities 9.7 billion rand, whilst public entities owe municipalities 4 billion rand. And then municipalities, as we know, owe Eskom 75 billion rand. They also owe water boards 21 billion rand. There is a financial unsustainability when we look at local government. And this must be addressed. Because whilst there is financial unsustainability, there's a lack of service delivery and the people are suffering. People are not getting the services that they deserve. Infrastructure is completely dilapidated, and the majority of our people do not get clean water, do not get adequate sanitation and housing. The core causes of this decay should be evaluated and carefully discussed. Because, Chairperson, if we go and look at the causes, it is not only officials or the local governments, it's also the system and the policy environment, the framework for local government. Because whilst South Africa's population increased, and the Honourable Van Zyl referred to that, and it increases annually, our number of municipalities decreased significantly. 30 years ago, we had 1,262 municipalities. We now have a mere 213. If you go and compare that to other countries, such as Switzerland, they have a mere 8 million people, but they have more than 1,200 municipalities. And they have a much smaller country in terms of square kilometers. The Financial and Fiscal Commission, which is a constitutional body, already advised in 2012 that one of the biggest problems with regards to the finances of municipalities are the amalgamation into these very large, unsustainable municipalities. This needs to be addressed. And we call on the new administration, the new minister and the deputy ministers to really look into these causes and issues. Because up until now, support programs for municipalities have failed, also in the time of former President Zuma. Back to basics were not a success. We need real support, and we need to have the different spheres of government, although they are separate, working together to find the right solutions. There needs to be better communication, and there needs to be better oversight through the Department of Cooperative Government of local government. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Is there a speaker from Action SA? None. I now invite the Honourable Deputy Minister. Order, Honourable Members. Order, Honourable Members. I now invite the Honourable Deputy Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, the Honourable Masemola.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson of the sitting this afternoon. Very good words of greetings to the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Dr. Mkhize, members of the Portfolio Committee and members of this August House, and my colleague, Honorable Minister Hlabisa Bulawayo, and also Deputy Minister Ngamase Uchawe. I am honored to join Minister Hlabisa and my colleague Deputy Ngamase as we table the budget vote of the Department of Cooperative Government and Traditional Affairs this afternoon. We are doing so fully aware of the challenges that face municipalities and the cooperative governance system at large in respect of distinctive, interdependent, and as well as interrelated responsibilities. These challenges have a direct bearing on communities, especially as they relate to sustainable delivery of basic services, eradication of poverty, and the creation of meaningful work opportunities. And this remains our preoccupation as a department going forward to give them the necessary attention in finding solutions, working together with our municipalities. I'm very certain, as I'm standing before you this afternoon, that the 7th administration quite seriously will work very hard through this department to make sure that matters of local government, particularly as it regards to the status of their performance, do receive our attention as a ministry and the department going forward, which is undoubtedly crucial for building a better local government to enhance intergovernmental and interdepartmental planning and coordination instruments to promote good municipal governance and sound financial accountability, as well as to accelerate service delivery and institutionalize active citizenry for thriving cohesive communities. President Nelson Mandela once said, and I quote, "Vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision just passes time, and vision with action can change the world," close quote. A working local government requires a commitment to ensure socio-economic development of this sphere of government. And therefore, as this ministry and the department going forward, the stability and functionality of local government remains our preoccupation for municipalities in this country to continue to make sure that they carry their constitutional and legislative mandate in the interest of communities they serve and the development trajectory of our country by unveiling a myriad of development activities and unleash the full potential of our cities, towns, and as well as villages. And this task will be done working together with our institutions of traditional leadership and other social formations in our nation. We are determined, Honorable Chairperson, to improve governance of our municipalities and ensure that communities in this country continues to get better services. We are fully conscious of the fact that local government is a very complex system, and therefore, given the complex character of local government system, we need and are resolute as the ministry and the department working together with councillors and provincial departments to make sure that our collective leadership provides firm management and sharpen the instruments of government as we work hard to respond to the matters which colleagues, honorable members have raised here with regard to the capacity and the stability of our municipalities. Honorable Chairperson, the Municipal Infrastructure Grant provides a capital finance to 217 municipalities to implement infrastructure-related projects, ensuring access to basic services delivered to the poor households in areas such as water, sanitation, roads, community lighting, and for community facilities, including sporting facilities for the poor in their areas where they live. And through this budget, an amount of 17 billion rands has been allocated to municipalities to make sure that this financial year we do carry this responsibility very seriously. And in the coming medium-term expenditure framework, this budget will amount to 54 billion rands. We're quite certain that working together, these monies will change the living conditions and the conditions of our people wherever they are in the whole of the Republic. While there is still a need to develop and upgrade existing infrastructure, there is an urgent requirement for repairs and refurbishment of infrastructure, especially of water, sanitation, and as well as roads. Working together with the Department of Water and Sanitation and Transport, these areas of services will receive the necessary attention of the ministry and the department going forward. In this regard, equally important, COCTA intends to compel MIG receiving municipalities,
Honorable
particularly...
Deputy Minister, your time has expired.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I invite the honorable member from ACDP, honorable member from UDM. I invite the honorable Magashulekana.
Ntrama xitori na khensa sankari. a ni ta rhandza ku ri loko ni vulavula holobye a va ri kona mara nkarhi wun'wanyana loko hi vulavula holobye nga ri kona swi endla ngeti a hi tekeli nhlokweni ndzawulo leyi. This is a very important department and the minister should have been here because when local government fails the people don't get the services, businesses move away as it has happened. So one of the things that the minister spoke about over the weekend, it's putting municipalities going for a rerun elections, dysfunctional municipalities. And I wanted to say to him, no, let's not go there. Let's make them functional. Your task is to make municipalities functional. You should not be rushing to put municipalities or to go for rerun, putting them under administration, because that's an admission that you are failing. That's an admission that you are failing. And I'm glad that you have a capable Director General. I've worked with Mr. Nchanga before, and he knows what needs to be done at that level. And I hope you'll do it, sir. I hope you'll do it, because you know that there has to be investment in the people. There has to be investment in the people that are going to run municipalities. We can't play marbles with local government. Currently, we are sending the worst possible people to run municipalities. It can't be. We even have NSFAS, we have graduates. We have graduates that don't get jobs in municipalities. But we have unqualified people that are appointed to run municipalities. Why don't we create a link to say NSFAS graduates, they can then do work in local municipalities to ensure that the municipalities don't get dysfunctional. Honorable Mkize, you are talking about disasters. You are talking about natural disasters and man-made disasters. When it comes to municipalities, we are dealing with man-made disasters. I come from Zanin. I was born in Zanin. Honorable Masimula knows Zanin. It was once the cleanest town in South Africa. It's no longer the cleanest town. I stay in Johannesburg. It was once called the City of Gold, a world-class African city. Go there today. Go to the city center. You see what has happened. Man-made. We're not dealing with natural disasters here. This problem of local government was created by men and women who got greedy and started to steal. And it has to be fixed by good men and good women. If you do all these things, Rising Suns will support you. But if you continue to deploy unqualified cadres to our municipalities, we will not support you. In case you can see.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I invite the Honorable Member from Bosa. Honorable Member from ATM. I invite the Honorable Director.
Thank you, Chairperson, honorable members of the House, deputy ministers and ministers, the members of community. On the 29th of May 2024, the voters have given us a mandate to work together in order to change their life and also to provide better services to them. As the result of that, as the ANC, we upheld this mandate by adopting a clause in our Freedom Charter that asserts that the right of the people to rule should be implemented. Indeed, they have ruled and we have respected that. Hence, today we are speaking about a government of national unity. Honorable Minister and Deputy Ministers, now is our time to deliver service to our people. We have made promises and we have delivered some, but there's still a lot that needs to be done. On our way from airport to Parliament, we pass areas like Langa. We serve as a cry for help. We should speak to our conscience and also give us a no more promises attitude, but rather a willingness to deliver services to our people. As the ANC during our manifesto launch for national elections, we had 6 priorities in our manifesto, which are in line with good governance, the provision of quality services, the promotion of local economic development, and quality services to our people. These priorities are in line with building municipal capability, accountability, and resilience, which is vital for ensuring effective governance and sustainable development at the local level. By enhancing this aspect, municipality can better serve their communities, manage resources effectively, and navigate challenges effectively. This holistic approach not only strengthens local governance, but also fosters transparency, responsiveness, and the trust between municipalities and their residents. Ultimately, investing in municipal capability, accountability, and resilience lays a solid foundation for inclusive growth and improved quality of life within our communities. In doing so, COCTA, the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, bears a responsibility to enable this transformation at our local municipalities. Through various interventions and initiatives, COCTA plays a critical role in supporting municipalities to enhance their capability, accountability, and resilience. This includes providing technical services and support, capacity building programs, and policy guidance, and also fostering collaboration amongst the stakeholders. By empowering municipalities in these areas, COCTA contributes significantly to building robust local government structures that can effectively meet the needs and the challenges of our communities. Ensuring effective utilization of municipal infrastructure grant allocation, it is very critical for fostering sustainable development and improving the quality of life in our communities. When municipalities fail to spend their MIG grant and return them to national treasury, it is not only reflect inefficiency, but it also deprives the communities of much needed infrastructure and services. By intervening in municipality with under expenditure and applying provision of Division of Revenue Act to create a indirect grant, which is Schedule 6B, COCTA plays a significant role in safeguarding these funds. This intervention empowers COCTA to directly implement MIG projects to the municipalities that cannot execute. This will also ensure that the planned infrastructure development and service delivery commitments are fulfilled. Moreover, retaining and redirecting unspent MIG allocation through Schedule 6B prevents these funds from being reallocated to other municipalities. This ensures that communities in need do not lose out the essential services and infrastructure improvement due to administrative and capacity constraints within their local municipalities. In essence, this proactive approach not only enhances accountability and transparency in municipalities, but it also assists in financial management and also strengthens government commitment to equitably develop and service delivery across all regions. It underscores the importance of efficient government and responsive stewardship of public resource to meet the developmental needs and aspirations of South Africans' diverse communities. The Integrated Urban Development Grant, which plays a vital role in enhancing infrastructure development across.
Your time has expired.
As the ANC, we support the budget vote. Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the Honorable the Deputy Minister Pence Ngamashe.
Honorable Chairperson, let me also take this opportunity to follow Honorable Minister Hlabisa in extending my warm greetings to all in the House. Suffice to say, all protocols observed in the interest of time. From the outset, let me join again Minister Hlabisa to table the budget vote of the Department of Traditional Affairs under Vote 15 and call upon this House to support it. Perhaps, Chairperson, it's important to make certain assumptions very clear. This budget vote encapsulates a fundamental epistemological exposition, which predicates the ethos of the Government of National Unity as a delivery mechanism on the statement of intent, the NDP, and above all, our Constitution. I have an appreciation that for all of us to understand, we've got to be clear in terms of our dialectical analysis, not in narrow positivist dichotomy, which we seem to hear here.
Honorable member, honorable DM, hold on a bit. Honorable members, order, honorable members, can I caution members of the public, you are only observers here, you do not participate, hence making gestures and participating in the process is prohibited. The rules do not allow. It's only members of parliament that can make expressions. Continue.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Maybe just a free lecture. Chair, it's important to know that there's a law of interpenetration of opposites. And there is what we call systems approach, and there is what we call transition from quantity to quality. That's what we want to see as characteristic of members of this House. There are 7 areas that I will summarily bring together. The first one, intervention to address customary initiation challenges. What we are saying is that we will continue the awareness campaigns on the Customary Initiation Act in hotspot areas. We'll support PICCs to register initiation schools and to close illegal initiation schools. We'll support traditional leaders to take ownership of initiation practice and perform their statutory responsibilities through, amongst conducting regular inspections, initiation schools, intervene in instances where there may be potential deaths and injuries, and report the relevant PICCs and other stakeholders. Develop the CIA regulations to enhance implementation and compliance, particularly tightening up to ensure the rule of law. Secondly, the issue of the recognition of the Khoi and San communities, leaders, and the work of the Commission on the Khoi and San is in full swing in terms of the progress. The recognition of the Khoi and San communities and leaders, our view is that it can no longer be delayed any further. The Commission on Khoi San matters will, before the end of the financial year, submit recommendations to the Minister so as to achieve this long outstanding historical milestone. We are hard at work. Thirdly, we'll address the issues that have been raised by traditional leaders with government in different platforms. And our view as a department is that all the issues that have been raised by traditional leaders will find expression in the interministerial committee as chaired by the Deputy President, and very soon we will be unleashing a very practicable and factual program that will respond to the issues that traditional leaders have raised. And I want to assure all our traditional leaders that we are government at work. And
DM, your time has expired.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Honorable members, I invite the honorable member from Aljama. I invite the honorable member from NCC. I invite the honorable member from PAC. I invite the honorable member from UAT. I invite the honorable Labaskachni.
Honorable House Chair, improving.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Allow the speaker, the honorable member, to be heard.
Honorable House Chair, improving and enabling access to water, sanitation, electricity, waste disposal services, street lights, and clean environment requires a skilled and a capable local government sector, prioritizing effective interaction and cooperation with the provincial and national spheres of government. The role of the three spheres of government is to create an environment that promotes investment and job creation through a sustained focus on delivering essential basic services. When municipalities are well capacitated and operate optimally, they maintain good standards of basic service delivery, which in turn spurs investment and economic growth. In reality, however, issues relating to access to water, municipal debt, and bulk water and electricity, lack of waste facilities and high costs thereof, non-revenue water losses, coupled with a broad base of incorrect billing systems, are some of the driving factors that have spawned public protests resulting in litigation by civic groups. The root cause of most of these service delivery challenges seems to lie with the lack of skills and institutional capacity in municipalities. According to the legacy report of the Portfolio Committee on COCTA, 175 out of 257 municipalities are currently financially distressed. The legacy report further indicates that there is currently no evidence-based results to prove that the District Development Model, or the DDM, which was announced outside of a legislative framework, significantly contributed to enhance the skills and institutional capacity of municipalities to solve these problems, as highlighted by Honourable Van Zyl. The Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent, or MISA, has the mandate to provide technical advice and support to municipalities, as well as infrastructure provisioning. MISA's budget, however, shows an 80% reduction on the sub-programs of support and capacity building. Furthermore, is the compensation of employees in the three sub-programs of administration, technical support, and delivery management support far more important than the budget allocation to technical support expertise that actually underpins the existence of MISA. One training program per year per municipality, as per the APP, will hardly contribute to the required skills development and capacity building of 175 financially distressed municipalities. Honourable Chair, changing weather conditions linked to climate change have rendered many parts of our country vulnerable to natural disasters, including drought, fire, and floods, as we are recently experienced in the Western Cape again. Although the current budget shows a significant increase to mitigate the effect of disasters, it is concerning that the allocation to program on disaster risk and reduction capacity have decreased significantly. Most municipalities do not have the capacity to respond and are not equipped to do effective risk assessment, early warning, and forward planning to reduce and or mitigate disasters. I need to emphasize again, the DDM is yet to provide any proof that it has the answers to address disaster management at municipal level. Even so, we have an existing best practice model on disaster management that should be emulated countrywide. The Western Cape Disaster Management Centre is known for its quick responses to municipalities impacted by disasters based on provincial budget allocations, a disaster management plan including risk assessments and forward planning. Section 154, Part 1 of the Constitution states that national and provincial governments, by legislative and other measures, must, not can or should, must support and strengthen the capacity of municipalities to manage their own affairs, to exercise their powers, and to perform their functions. Currently, it is clear that the national government and most provincial governments do not deliver on this mandate. A budget reduction of 1.3 billion will barely cover the capacity building measures needed at local government level to mitigate disasters and protect vulnerable communities. The onus is now on the Minister and the Department to find new and innovative ways to address these issues. Specifically, the DA requests that the Minister considers to import the following proposals: a new financial model for municipalities to ensure long-term financial sustainability. Utilize the knowledge and skills of highly paid MISA experts in a matrix model to increase skills and capacity at municipal level. Minister, in the review of the legislation for disaster management funding that you've mentioned, please include legislation with a view to decentralize and ring-fence funds for disaster management to provinces. This will help to decrease the response time of utilizing these funds for when and where they are needed. Investigate the possibility of allocating a specific percentage of the budget of the conditional grant to municipalities to address disaster risk and capacity. We recognize the legislative review that will serve as framework and guide important matters and challenges within the Department of Traditional Affairs. We, as part of the Portfolio Committee, undertake to support all efforts of the Department of Cooperative Government and Traditional Affairs through effective and efficient oversight as expected by our citizens. I thank you.
I now invite the Honorable Davids.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable House Chair, Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers, Honorable Chair of the Committee, and all the Honorable Members present in the House. In committing to effective governance and sustainable development, collaboration stands as the bedrock of our approach. By working closely with traditional and Khoisan leadership, alongside diverse stakeholders, including government agencies, civil society, and private sector partners, we strive to force synergy that drives inclusive growth and upliftment. This collaborative spirit ensures that our efforts are not only comprehensive, but also rooted in community needs, fostering a resilient and prosperous future for all. In recent years, our country has faced numerous disasters, underscoring the urgent need for a comprehensive disaster management plan. Investing in disaster risk management capabilities, prioritizing the rehabilitation and recovery of affected communities, and striving for a sustainable future are paramount. To achieve these goals, COCTA is committed to strengthen partnership and ensuring accountability and transparency in our disaster response efforts. Collaboration is key to our success. COCTA has partnered with the University of Johannesburg, Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment to leverage the internet in addressing the water, energy, food nexus challenges. This innovative approach is a testimony to our commitment to develop smart city frameworks and supporting smart villages and cities through the DDM Smart City approach in collaboration with the University of Johannesburg, Centec, and water boards such as Umgeni Water Board and Rand Water. Furthermore, systematic interventions like the Municipal Demand Management Program and the Municipal Revenue Management Program aim to reduce the intensity of load shedding, lower peak costs, and introduce smart metering technologies. These measurements, alongside initiations like rooftop solar and battery storage, small-scale embedded generators, and solar hot water heating systems for low-cost housing, demonstrates our dedication to enhance municipal capabilities and resilience. Through these collaboration efforts, we aim to ensure that South Africa is better prepared for the future, fostering a resilient and prosperous future for all, for the future crises. These examples demonstrate the immense potential of this department. We must be supported and expanded to achieve broader success. The small town generator strategy is a vital initiative aimed at revitalizing underperforming small towns and unlocking their economic potential. By focusing on towns such as Piketberg, Senekal, and Modimolle, the STR seeks to address economic stagnation, limited job opportunities, and infrastructure decline to target pilot projects. Piketberg, for example, emphasized on agricultural modernization and tourism enhancement to stimulate local growth economy. Senekal, for example, focus on agro-processing and small-scale manufacturing to create value-added products and attract investment. The small town regeneration strategy is a critical initiative that deserves robust support and expansion. By investing in the economic revitalization of small towns, we can create vibrant, sustainable communities that contribute significantly to the broad national economy. The pilot projects in Piketberg, Senekal, and Modimolle are promising examples of how target intervention can lead to meaningful economic transformation. Support the STR means committing to the development and implementation of similar projects in other small towns, ensuring that the benefits of economic growth and revitalization are felt across the country. By doing so, we can build a more inclusive and prosperous future for all South Africans. It is our firm belief that aligning our efforts and resources through the DDM and the Result-Based Management Office, we will be able to streamline service delivery and improve the lives of all our people we serve. ANC commits itself to undoing the apartheid spatial planning. The party firmly supports ensuring effective. The ANC supports the budget vote, and just a remark to the DA, compliance is not good governance.
Honourable Member, your time has expired. Order, Honourable Members. I now invite the Minister, Minister Hlabisa, to reply on the debate.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and greetings once again to honorable members. Honorable Chairperson, I rise to welcome the contributions that were made by the honorable members of this House. I want to convey my apology. I was debating in the other House. I had to excuse myself for those members whom I couldn't get their contribution. But with the help of my colleagues, I've noted what they said during my absence. I want to convey that the department noted all the critical issues that were raised by the honorable members. I must firstly indicate that in relation to the Khoisan issues, I want to recommit our commitment as a department, as we expressed in the portfolio, that we understand the depth of issues raised by the Khoisan community and we will rise to the occasion in addressing them appropriately using the appropriate platforms. All the contributions, even if some may have sounded as negative, but there was goodness in that negativity. We will take them and consider very strongly in terms of taking our communities forward. The local government sphere is a critical sphere of governance because that is where people live. That is where people are affected daily, either negatively or positively. We will rely to all the contributions that members made in order to change the functionality of our municipalities to perform to the maximum in order to take our people forward. This is time for cooperation, because even if a political party is not part of the GNU, but the progress that will be achieved by our communities through the contributions that you make in this house will benefit all political parties across. We will always welcome the contributions that you make, because out of them we will find a way of how to change things around. Regarding the new financial model, we will engage the honorable member, as I noted, that she has more information to share so that the local government sphere receive a new financial model that will take into account municipalities in the deep rural who are far back as compared to municipalities in urban areas. The issue of the decentralization of the disaster management is also welcome. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, that concludes the debate and the business for this mini plenary session. The mini plenary will now rise.